Now, I don't want to start any arguments. I'm going to explain this to you, hopefully in a way that you're going to understand it. Please keep an open mind while you watch this video. We all know how inconsistent auto exposure can be. I know you've probably got the best camera in the world that nails your perfect exposure every single time. That's fine. If you've got a camera like that, then you don't have to watch the rest of the video. But most of us get varied exposures with our automatic exposure because we've got various different tones in our image. We've got various different light angles. We've got different compositions. So this is a problem for me as a photographer. I've been doing this for 45 years now, so I think I've nailed it down to the way that I prefer to do it, and I just want to share that with you. I prefer shooting on manual settings. Now, of course, this is a huge debate that reigns in online photography forums, but I'm not saying that you should shoot on manual settings, I'm just saying that I prefer it. And I'm going to explain the way that I make it easy to shoot on manual settings. The way that I do it is that I try to lock in most of my settings and only change one when I'm out shooting. The first thing I try and do is lock in the thing that doesn't matter particularly for me. That's the ISO. So if I get out of my car and I'm at a location, I'll just check out the ambient light conditions and probably set an ISO of 200 or 400 if I've got a reasonably bright day. So that's locked in. Most of the time I'm shooting flash. You may not, but most of the time I am shooting flash. So I need to be careful with my level of shutter speed. I'm a little bit restricted with that, so that's the next thing I'm going to lock in. I need to make sure that my shutter speed is fast enough so I'm not going to get camera shake. So I need to have it probably over 150th of a second. And I need to make it slow enough so that my flash is going to synchronize with it, because I don't use high-speed sync or any of those other things. So generally 1/160 is my shutter speed for most of the shots that I do outdoors and indoors for that matter. The third thing is my aperture, and that's the thing that I vary. That allows me to simply think about my aperture when I'm moving around from place to place, the light's changing as I'm moving, my subject's changing. I can just alter my aperture and the other two stay the same. And that's the way I get consistent results. That's the way I make it easy for myself to do this. Now, I do shoot a lot of flash, and when I change my aperture, that's going to affect my flash power as well. I much prefer to shoot manual on my flash as well because it's way, way better when I'm shooting manual on my flash. My opinion, you may have a different opinion, but when I change my aperture on my camera, I just need to tweak my flash a little bit as well. So I'm locking two things and maybe changing two things. But don't think that you've got to vary all of those three settings every time you expose an image in manual. It's not a difficult thing to do. In fact, it saves me a lot of time shooting in manual compared to shooting in auto exposure. The main reason is that when I get into post-production and when I'm editing my images, all of my images are consistently the same exposure. I can batch process. When I'm shooting TTL, every image is going to be slightly different exposure, so I need to edit one image at a time, which takes me a whole lot longer to do. So think about that system. It's the way I teach my students. You all know I hate the exposure triangle because it really doesn't do anything. But again, if you want to follow the exposure triangle and you understand it, then that's great. But I like to follow this lock two in, vary one system. You may prefer, particularly if you don't use flash, to lock your aperture and your ISO and just vary your shutter speed. Or the other way around, you can lock your aperture and your shutter speed and just vary your ISO. It's all up to you, but use this system to make things easier for you. I'm sure you'll find that shooting on manual settings is a great benefit to your photography.